we are, Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Monday. It's Monday. I'm trying to rush this week ahead already. Good evening, Tanya, and good evening, Leanne. Leanne, lovely to have you here this evening on Soul and Beyond. And to our other viewers also watching, you're very welcome to say hello and join in the conversation. Soul and Beyond. We never quite know what is going to come forward in these beautiful meetings with ascended beings, ascended masters, archangels, the elemental kingdom, my glorious Queen Anastasia of the fairy elemental kingdom. That's lovely, Leanne. Oh, Kelly, hello. And Ash, hello. Lovely to have you here too. Leanne, you can always wander down that hill and have a Gwenda fix in person when we're not doing those things that bring us joy. And Jackie, so much easier than Zoom for you. Hey, Jackie, these things, I tell you, these technology. So I'm going to begin this evening with a couple of things. Sorry, I'm listening at the same time as trying to talk to you. There's a beautiful young man here this evening that I had the pleasure of meeting on the weekend. And, sometimes divine guidance just takes the opportunity. It just takes whenever there's an opportunity available to be able to bring through some guidance or some guidance or just some confirmation even. And I really shouldn't say just, because confirmation, good evening, Karen, welcome. Confirmation is never a just thing. It's the words that we use in this realm, or that we've been taught to use, are really very interesting. And I guess we can say in the last few years, we've come to understand a lot more about the way that our language is used. But it was an absolute pleasure and took me by total surprise that the divine decided there was some things to share with this beautiful young man, a gorgeous soul. And then today I went across to the shops, as you have to do, and there was what appeared to be a toddler in a very specially designed wheelchair, and also appeared to be holding, I have to say, its head, because I couldn't see whether it was a boy or a girl from the angle that I was on, but appeared to be holding its head. The lady came around and got out a big syringe, and she started to let this fluid flow. So I thought, oh dear, child is obviously being nasogastrically fed. And I know from my nursing years and in current time that the stuff, Mandy, hello, and Lisa, hi girls, the stuff that is pumped through, it's not highly nutritious. There's mainly sugar and chemicals in them. In fact, when I was on the Consumer Advisory Committee at Royal Perth Hospital before the nonsense, they passed around, the boss of the committee was very excited to introduce us to this meat substitute. And just the words again, was enough to make me cringe. And they passed around photos for us to have a look at and to give our comments on, because that's what we were there for, to improve the way that the hospital did things with clients, not patients anymore, clients, because you're worth money. So this picture came around and I said, where are the ingredients for this meat substitute? Can we see them? And he was horrified that I'd asked that question. But being on the committee and asking it meant he had to bring it forward. So he did in the next meeting. But Mandy, he made a point of saying that they have a very good team of nutritionists and dietitians, and that was enough to make me turn my nose up. And that they had, created this meat substitute. When they bought the ingredients the next meeting, there was no food, nothing that resembled food in this meat substitute. And I said, how can you how can you call this highly nutritious for people who are in need of healing? He would not entertain the conversation with me in the meeting. So there was that, right? And then seeing people have open heart surgery, and when they can't eat afterwards, or if they have had some brain surgery and they need to be fed nasogastrically, they have these plastic bags that are hooked up and fed through, and it's sugar milk. It's just horrendous. So how they can think that anybody can heal with these things that aren't even close to what the human body needs is beyond me. So thankfully we have real healing available to us, and healing that we can all call upon at any time, because your body is an incredible creation, and it is amazing at being able to do its own healing. So when I went across to ask if I could meet this small person in the wheelchair, the lady was a little bit taken aback, stranger, I guess. And I asked what his name was, and she told me it was Jace. So I said, hello, Jace. But Jace is nonverbal, totally crippled, totally dependent on someone to look after him. But he is in there. He is in that physical shell that cannot serve him in any way other than being able to be present in this third dimensional world. His eyes, he would be legally blind, so his eyes move a lot and are quite crossed. And his little hands, he managed to tear his face up, and he has to wear mittens. He's 15, not 15 months, 15 years of age. So 15 years in that meat suit. The question is, and I was trying to reach his soul, to have a conversation with his soul. The question is why you would sign up, why you would come through to this reality in such a way. There was too much noise around, and he was very uncomfortable, me being a stranger, and just the vibrations that he can feel, and so many vibrations being in a shop, and shopping complex. You've also got all the lighting. So as I was sitting there, I was trying to merge in a little bit with some of his etheric body, and I could feel all of the vibrations of everything around. So I tapped into that outside of my five senses. And this is where we can all move into that higher part, that higher aspect of ourselves, by getting used to using our higher senses, which means that you're able to hear a lot more and feel a lot more than you can with your earthly senses, your normal five senses. So the noise bombardment, have you ever noticed? Have you ever taken any notice of the noise bombardment in shopping centres? Then outside there, you have all the clutter and carry on of vehicles and all different levels of sounds of vehicles. In among that, you have the subtle whispers of nature. And it's the subtle whispers of nature that can be your guide and your healing energy during your time out. But you see, everything here is designed to distract you and keep you away from your higher awareness. So you see with your physical eyes, you hear with your physical ears, but even then you don't. When I was merging with Jace's etheric body, I became aware of 4 different songs being played. Now, with my physical ears, I'd already tuned into one because I liked it. But there was actually 4 playing, coming from all different directions. Then there was the clutter and the noise of cutlery and cups and coffee machines and people laughter. And then you've got the energy of people right there around you. You know, we are bombarded constantly. So can you imagine what it's like for a little soul that is in a totally incapacitated body, physical body? Yes, Karen, and then there's the lights. The incredible impact that the lights have on our all aspects of our beingness. The lights actually reach in further and come through and invade all of our different energy bodies, the subtle bodies. And they're the ones that are actually really important for us to be able to be aligned with and interact with, because it is from there that you heal the physical body. It's from there that you can draw the eternal supply, the wellspring of energy, of love being the most powerful of all things. Now, I did, good evening, Kim. The main lights that they use are those fluorescent lights, which of course are horrendous. A lot of cafes and shops decided to be a bit funky and use the new style of LED lights, have them drop down and have these funky light fittings. But those LEDs, what they put off, are no better for us than the fluorescent lights. So this dear little boy, young man, not little boy, this dear young man was being absolutely bombarded so much, and he was banging his head with his hand like this. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I could just bring some peace into his physical self, if I could work my way through his etheric body, which is why I started merging with that. I was talking to him telepathically also to let him know that I was a friend, and then I bought him angelic healing light. So I would never just help myself, unlike the divine did with my beautiful visitor on the weekend. That's a little different. Good evening, Linda Gold. Yeah, Tanya, they are terrible. So coming through to this young man and trying to bring that energy through was really trying to wade my way through dense mud. So his etheric bodies and all of his subtle bodies are as equally troubled as the physical body. Now, if you have been doing any work with your energy bodies and learning about healing or learning about the power, and I know several of you on here have, learning about the power of yourself, of your soul, of your connection with your divinity, with the divine, you will know that it's very important to clear and cleanse your energy fields. So can you imagine what incredible impact this world has on that young man's whole being? So my question that I did ask him was why he's come to this world. And the answer I got was, I don't belong here. I'm not of this world. So an interpretation of that could be lead you down the path to ask, well, what are you then, and where do you come from? But his arrival here into that that very challenging physical appearance has actually affected his ability to be able to be aligned with his soul, and finding what that eternal part of himself is. You know, such a makes you wonder, what is going on there. There is karma, most definitely, but that's not what I got from him. Karma, we can come back in some very uncomfortable appearances or ways, to pay our debt, or have someone else pay their debt to us. I think I would just leave that off the list. There's no way I would want to come back so severely incapacitated to serve out karma, or have someone else serve their karma that they owe me. No, thank you. So, no, Lisa, I hadn't, and I haven't actually told the story about my lovely visitor at my front door on the weekend, because I have not asked permission to do so. So it was just that the beautiful messages that came through and insights were amazing and very unexpected. So when we think about our reason for being here, when we think about everything that we believe is what this life is, what this reality is, it can become so very daunting and very challenging. And it can take a lot of people into a very dark abyss, a very difficult place. And some people actually don't get out again because it's too much to understand. It's too much to get their mind around. But therein is the problem, the mind. If you would hand over to the higher aspect of yourself, or put your trust into angelic care, God's care, the divine care. Those of you who know me know I will not use the word universe. So if by starting out you had enough trust and belief to hand over for your guidance, hand over to a higher being or a higher aspect of yourself even, start there to help shift the fear, help shift the uncertainty, help shift the trained beliefs and the trained patterns of reactions. That's a good way to begin to open up, to see beyond this reality. You know, telling people that, and I do use this term, that, you know, this is an illusion. Might have to have myself put in a white jacket because people don't get it. And that I understand that, you know, it's not something we're born with, or are we? At least I can say, yes, we are born with it, but it is very quickly attacked. And it is like an attack, as I said, about what that young man was feeling and being bombarded with at that shop. You're no different. So last night we had, no, not last night, sorry, Saturday night, we had an event where I was one of the speakers and facilitators of the event. And there was a couple of people there who have not actually been out into a social setting like a venue such as a club, a pub, or a big meeting place since all of the nonsense started. So last night was their first night out in an environment like that, and I checked in on them today and they all felt it very much yesterday. And the description was, I felt like I was hungover. I was so listless. I didn't have any energy. And that is because of the bombardment and not having been out among the collective energy of everyone else. And what a lot of people who are not soul aligned and not truly awake don't realize is that your whole being is constantly under attack from external energies, external forces of life brought about by other people. And these go beyond what you can see in just your immediate seating area. So say, for example, you're seated at a table of 10, table of 6 or whatever. This isn't just about the people at your table. This is about the whole collective, because the energy, as I'm asking in my little ticker that's running along the screen tonight, may you share the radiance of your soul with the world around you. Everybody shares everything that's in their energy with their world around them, most often unconsciously, because they've not done the work to understand, one, how to harness their own energy, and two, how to prevent other people's energy coming into their life force. So even when Kim Jane, Victorian Town, where we're living. Yeah, I'll come to that because that's actually a very important point. Thank you, Kim. Very important. And I'd like everyone to take notice of that. Kim has actually stated, I'll put it up for you to see, high-pitched ringing sound where we are living. And then she's gone on to say, covering does not stop the sound. It vibrates within our ears. This is something that a lot of people may not be able to get their head around, but this is the next wave of the last 3 years' effort. I can't say too much on here because we are also streaming to YouTube. So everything is being very heavily censored. Leanne, it is and it isn't. They are trialing the impact of 5G on people, but there is something else that's actually more sinister. And Kim Jane's comment, the vibration within our ears. Well, a very dear friend of mine has just gone back to her home in Queensland, and she'd been down in Sydney, and she said that since getting home on Saturday, she's had tremendous ringing and vibration in her ears. This, yes, Linda, it is. And that's not what I'm trying to do. If anything, I've asked for guidance on this and asked for how people can protect themselves. This is the next wave of creating the robo-human and also forcing compliance through brainwaves. So it's, as I was saying, people don't realise how important it is to harness their own energy, but also how to clear their fields of everyone else's energy, including the things like this that Kim's talking about and that my girlfriend has experienced. Finding real nature, and by that I mean nature that has not been created by governments, by mankind. Finding real nature to be among and standing in it and really learning how to call for the help of the energy of earth and the energy of nature is a must do at this time. So if, for example, you go to areas of the ocean and you're going somewhere that has been a man-made groin, a man-made estuary, or anything like that, that's not going to be helpful to you, because the vibration of the ocean and the ocean floor has already been disrupted, and all of that energy around that area has been disrupted. It is no longer the pure energy. Now, this may sound like a contradiction, because I asked some months ago, when I saw all the destruction of the trees on our freeway, I found that very distressing. It went straight to my heart and affected me tremendously. And I was reminded, nature always finds a way. Nature is more powerful than mankind will ever be. However, when you are looking for somewhere for your energy, for your well-being, and for protecting your beautiful divine self, then it must be, when you're using nature, it must be in a place that is real nature. And for want of it, it would have to be a beautiful big open beach, not one that has got, so something like the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Scarborough here in Perth, Sydney Harbour, nothing like that, because it's already got the intrusion of energy. Do you see the difference? You need bare, naked nature. So, for example, around here, some of the lovely people on tonight are from the hills in Perth. So there is still bare, beautiful, natural bush out there. So those areas are beautiful. And also to the north of me, around Yanchep, is a magnificent place called Yanchep National Park. And even though there are some areas in there that have got roads and things, there is loads of untethered, untouched bush. So these places are where we need to be able to go to bring in the energy that is going to be really helpful to your life force. Because at the moment, is the creek purely natural, Linda, with no houses around it, backs of houses, gardens, anything like that, either side of it? Blue Mountains, beautiful, beautiful, Tanya. Yes, Mandy, absolutely. So please start listening to these calls. This is the higher aspect of yourself that is seeking healing, that is seeking alignment, but more so, it is seeking to be protected, because the bombardment, yes, glorious out there, Leanne, the bombardment that is coming, it has already started, and that's what Kim Jane has been talking about, and then what my girlfriend was telling me. The bombardment that is next is an ultrasound waves that we can't physically hear, but they affect our ears to the point of having, as Kim Jane's talking about, buzzing, ringing, and people will go, unless they know better, they will go to a doctor, and the doctor will say you have tinnitus. Yes, Kim. Now that brings me to the other thing they were asking me to talk about tonight. These efforts that are coming next through these vibrations, these sounds. First up, in the last probably 10 years, there has been, maybe in last 5, a lot more, there has been a massive surgence of sound healing and people coming out to do sound healing. Well, I can tell you from seeing it, that, and also hearing about the impact that it's had, there are other beings here who have learnt to manipulate the hertz, manipulate the way that the sound bowls operate. So they're already more advanced. They're a more advanced species when it comes to the frailties, knowing the frailties of the human being, and understanding that even though we are a vibratory being, caught, so many people think that their existence is purely the physical self, caught in the physical body, easy to manipulate. So they have learned how to manipulate the sounds from those healing sound bowls. So that began a lot of changes in the vibration of things around, and affected people that went for those healing days, healing sessions. Then the powers that be have always known that they can manipulate the mind through intense sound therapy. And this is how they made those people in the war that were called, can't think of the word just now, sleepers, called sleepers. And all it took was a phone call and they became a death machine, a killing death machine. The beings that orchestrate this and the darkness that orchestrate this have known for a long time how to manipulate the simple human being. And when I say the simple human being, I'm talking about those who have not learned, have not looked beyond the physical world and begun to align themselves with their divinity and the divine. So it is so crucial at this time for your life, for the future of humanity, that people learn to harness their own energy and learn to clear the energy around them, protect their energy. Now, I know that some of you on here this evening are also hands-on healers like me, and in some ways even more so hands-on. It's really vital for you to make sure that you cleanse your energy fields. And it's not just your hands, it is all of your energy fields. So understanding how to do full clearance of your energy fields is a must. And to harness your energy so that, as I've written here, may you share the radiance of your soul with the world around you. So you can harness your energy and know how to use it to radiate out and radiate the highest aspect of yourself. By doing that, you're able to actually combat and save in a lot of ways. You're able to save other energies and you're able to protect. So your, shall we call it, energetic hygiene is vital at the moment. When you are using, Kim Jane says she's using daily mantra. If you use the simplest one of all, the Om, the sound Om, that is the most powerful mantra and so simple to do. Just by repeating Om and getting deeper and starting to feel it come from the very center of you. And you can do that in your car. You can do that making a cup of tea. You can do it going for a walk. If you're going to be going out anywhere, it's a good idea to use the Om before you go. It shifts your vibration, it prepares your vibration, and it takes it to a higher level. So simple to do. So using using something like a mantra is important. Here I want to go into the incredible increase, upsurgence of binaural beats and all these sound meditations that you can do, and they sell them to you by letting you believe that they're going to take you to a different level of consciousness. They're going to heal the different vibrations within yourself. If you have not learnt about binaural beats, the theta, alpha, beta levels of the brain, the states of consciousness, please don't use those unless you know the person or you can really validate the person who says they've created that sound. This is all part of the whole game of using as many aspects that affect the greater human being that divine aspect of yourself. So music has also been tampered with over the years, and that came out. A lot of people suddenly discovered that in the last few years, which was really interesting. So again, with music, trust. Find that being, find that part of yourself that you're willing to surrender your trust to, and let them call you to the music that is right for you. Music is a huge healer. It is equally very damaging to the soul and to all of the fields of energy, fields of being that you are. The trust factor is the big thing. Align yourself with yourself. Align yourself with your higher aspect. If you believe in your guides, call upon your guides. If you believe in angels, please ask for their divine help. But be specific as to where they're from. I'm just going to read some comments here. Kim, it's not tinnitus. No, that's right, Kim. That was my whole point. People are very likely to go to the doctor and be told that's what it is, and then they just believe that, but it is not tinnitus. That was my exact point. And yes, the energy is ramping up in the cities as they get ready for these 15-minute cities that are coming. So the energy is definitely changed in the city. And funnily enough, the city is the last place that I like to go these days, and I have done for a number of years now. I preferred to stay out of the city. It was just my instinct. I'm in 3 days. Other people's thought field, past trauma resurfaced. Yes, Karen, that is also something that people are experiencing a lot of at the moment is migraines, nightmares, migraines, and tremendous dizziness, vertigo, that sort of thing. So, oh yes, Mandy, haven't heard about those, hey? You won't like it. Oh, you too, Tanya. Yep. So the other thing that is really important for you is to begin to really pay attention. What I'm listening to here now is water. I spoke with my beautiful granddaughter who's on the East Coast yesterday, and she took the phone outside to give me a tour of the new aspect of where they're living. And I said, could you put that phone, show Gran those clouds again? I have never in my life seen clouds like these that were there. They were phenomenal, so not real. And when I spoke to her mum, I said to her, my gosh, those clouds are bizarre. And her straight away, because she's an extremely awake, aware, conscious person, and she said they're not real. You could see it. These were incredible. So in those clouds is all sorts of frequency. In those clouds is all sorts of interference, and that's why they're being put there. Chemtrails? No, these are not chemtrails. These are a whole other different thing, Lisa. Migraines and intense emotions, yes, Tanya, are all part of what is being brought about through this bombardment. So, I began talking about this beautiful young man. Can you imagine what it would be like for him? Now, one of the other people that was at the event that don't usually come out on Saturday night is a young man who's 41 now, but when he was 29, he was bitten by, they believe, a mosquito, and he became a quadriplegic as a result of being bitten by that mosquito. But he's well and truly in-house. He is there, and he's able to communicate on a speech thing where he can tap things and ask for things or converse. And I was watching him on Saturday night because they don't normally come out into situations like that. I was watching him, and every now and again his eyes would just shoot open looking around, and it was because he could feel something that he wasn't used to, and he could feel the bombardment of energy because there was a lot of high energy where I was on Saturday night. And a couple of times there was a little bit of friction in it because of the emotions that were raised through some of the topics, but overall the energy was absolutely beautiful. Very, very lovely. Yes, Mandy. We can't be ostriches either. I think it's a must to know things are going on, but it's not a must to get lost in them. It's a must to get lost in the soul and to call upon the divinity and the divine and be aligned. Um, yeah. Yes, he is, Leanne. But it was interesting seeing the impact that the energy was having on him. And I'm going to contact his wife tomorrow and ask her how he was yesterday, because if the everyday person that was there felt sort of hungover and out of sorts, then he would probably have no energy. Now, because of his situation, he is also a draw card for wandering spirits, nuisance spirits, really, and that he had a few tag-alongs. And what happens when you go into hospital and you have to spend a long time there, or you're having really intense treatment, you get invaded by other spirits that are walking around the place. Not only does your body have to contend with any treatment that is being put upon it, but also with all of the different energies of spirit walking around. People get in and out of their bodies in hospital all the time, especially those who are severely traumatized, who are having very intense medication or treatments, and those, of course, who are in the process of passing. So there is so much going on in hospitals. And the people like this young man, he's a prime target for other spirits to literally leech off his life force and also intrude on his life force. So this is something for you to be aware of when it comes to your energetic hygiene. It doesn't matter what you do or where you go, there will always be some spirit or something else that likes your energy and decides, I might have a bit of that. And they start to travel around with you because they start to move into your etheric bodies and your astral fields. It's not good. So the more you know how to do your own house clearing, your energy bodies clearing, because that's your house, it's the temple of your soul. So the more you know how to do these and you do your energy hygiene every day before going out, before dealing with clients, even in the morning on getting up, because you could have been off out in the never nevers during the night. Most often you do, your soul leaves the body, goes, oh, I can get a break out of here. And there are other things that go on energetically while you're sleeping. So beginning your day with an energy set, so setting your energy, setting your intention, clearing, aligning, calibrating your energy is most important. And then making sure when you go out that you've harnessed your energy and you're sending out your greatest radiance, and that therefore keeps away everything else that isn't aligned with you, because it can't actually tag along. It can try, but it can't get in if you've set your energy fields in the right way. And then, of course, at the end of the day, clearing energy fields. And a lot of people enjoy the shower or a bath to do that. A shower is actually better because it runs away, whereas a bath, you're sitting in it. So you're kind of basking in it. It's important to do those things. And because of this new attempt on the real human beings, it's very vital for you, very vital. Now, some of you know, and you would have seen my post from last week, when I was setting up for a session in the Diamond Soul Awareness group in my society, the Spirit Seekers Society, I was over the moon to have the presence of Archangel Metatron and the Ascended Master Melchizedek. And it was incredible, the lesson that they brought through, the information they brought through. So from that, what I want you to know is you have got so many helpers. You've got so many protectors, if you want to call them that. It's your willingness to believe in them. It's your willingness to trust them and let them help you. And you're going to need that in coming months. You're going to need more than your mind. Your mind has been colluded, clouded, unless you know how to see beyond those senses and see beyond what the mind tells you. So with everything that's been going on and the way that we've been contrived and controlled and all the different life experiences that we've had already that leave us with patterns of reactions, patterns of behaviors, attitudes, thoughts, emotions. These things are part of the construct of the mind. They are not of the soul. And at this point in time for humanity in the future of the world, we've got to be able to step out of that, that construct. We've got to be able to go beyond that. So start to begin to do things. Sure, Leanne. Kim Jane, how would you describe that to be helpful to you? Sometimes wanting to know about these things can be our undoing, rather than simply letting yourself be guided by much higher beings, much higher radiance, and calling in your soul. Karen, I would ask you to go beyond your grandparents in this particular instance. Our grandparents and loved ones become our guardians, and they do know more about things, but they are not ascended beings, and they are not of the angelic realm, or even Palladians if you're a Palladian. So going beyond grandparents and loved ones at this time is more crucial. Being able to learn about your greater self is much more important, and for the sake of your own wellness. I'm going to have, okay, well, you're going to have a nice meditation now, apparently. I do like these surprises. I hope you do too. If you would like to join the meditation, please get yourself nice and comfortable. Ensure that your back is upright, so your spine is beautifully stacked, one vertebrae upon the other, and that your neck is also aligned correctly. So don't drop the chin forward. Have your neck centered, and the chin should be naturally resting in a neutral position. Letting your feet be nice and comfortable on the floor. If you're able to hold the lotus or half lotus position, go right ahead. Anywhere that is really comfortable for you. Hands preferably to be up so that you can receive the energy that we're going to generate out for you. And letting your eyes now softly close. I'm going to begin first by calling in the divine golden white light to wrap around you. And as it wraps around you ever so gently, it is flowing through all energy parts of yourself before coming into the physical. As it wraps around all of your energy fields, it clears everything that is not of your highest good, and it calibrates all of your energy fields. This is a continual moving gold white light of the highest of the divine. And as it comes closer into the physical body, it becomes more of a spiral coming down through the top of the crown of your head and spirals through the very core, from the top of your head all the way through your body, down through the legs and down into the earth. And as it moves and spirals all the way down through the body, it collects all toxicity. It collects all negative ions and all things that have no place with you for your greater good. And it calibrates every energy center in your being. This now is your foundation of the light running through your physical self. This now bridges you between heaven and earth. And in this moment, as this energy moves through you, it generates a warmth. It is of pure divine love, the highest source of energy, the most powerful source of energy, clearing your mind, clearing your heart. Feel the presence of that spiraling gold white light as it moves continually through the core of yourself and out into the greater aspects of yourself. We place now into your hands a ball of healing light. This healing light you can place anywhere on your physical self or even above your head to bring in divine healing light that radiates through every part of you. If you have an area of the body that needs extra help or some healing, place that orb of light on that part of the body. Open it up, open the field, and allow that energy to do its work, filled with love. And as you breathe in, we breathe in that gold and white light coming up through the nostrils, and this time going up and around through the sinuses, the back of the eyes, and through the top of the head. And as you breathe out, it draws out all toxicity, remnants, patterns, thoughts from the day that do not serve you. Breathing in again and feeling the expansiveness of the stomach with the breath. And releasing the breath longer. And as you take one more long breath, notice where you can relax the body and let go. Feeling into the very center of you, feeling right deep into the center of you. This is your power source. This is your place of eternal light, your eternal life force. See it as a beautiful flame in that gold white light. And any time that you're in need, reach to that flame and call upon its guidance and its powerful energy. Taking your attention to your eyes, and we place across both of your eyes a beautiful healing light that allows your eyes to see beyond the physical world. And in this gift brought to you at this time, at any time going forward, where you wish to see beyond the physical eyes, you have only but to ask, show me through divinity all that I may see of my highest good. And so it is. Amen. Very gently bring yourself back into an awareness of the physical body, letting yourself feel into your toes, your feet, your ankles, letting yourself absorb through that energy as you blend it into the physical self, feeling radiance, feeling a wellspring of vitality as it runs through every single cell of your body, bringing your awareness into the room once again. And very softly allow your eyes to open. No hurry for them to come back into the view of the room. Allow them to bring their sight back in their own time. And let me know when you're back. Thanks, Kelly. Glad you enjoyed it. Pleasure, Linda. Cool, Tanya. Welcome, Linda. Thanks for the loves, Mandy. Back to you. So may that energy continue to guide you and continue to move throughout your body and be at your call anytime. Being divine, golden white light, it's now calibrated throughout your system and it's there for you. It's there for you to anchor into. It's there for you to use anytime. Thank you all very much for joining me this evening and your lovely interaction, engagement. Beautiful. Thanks, Jackie and Kim. Take good care of yourselves. Get used to doing your own energy hygiene and living expressly presently, not beyond that. And I'll see you next week. Good night, everyone.